Hey guys, it's Bradley back with a review of Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars for the iPhone and iPod Touch. It was released on Monday the 18th of January, so I'm bringing you a review here after a couple of days of playing the game, as well as some thoughts from the versions on the PSP and the Nintendo DS. Chinatown Wars follows the story of a Chinese immigrant who comes to Liberty City after his father dies, trying to avenge his death against the ones who betrayed him. He soon becomes aware of the ongoing gang war in Liberty City as he tries to help his uncle become the boss of the new gang, as well as some other friends and important characters in the game. What starts off with the small delivery of a family heirloom, which is a sword, soon becomes a race against the city, where you're trying to avenge your father's death while trying to find the sword. The missions are much like any other GTA game that you may have played before. You'll see an email or an item on your GPS, go to that location to start your mission. The cutscenes in Chinatown Wars aren't as good as the other GTA titles. There's no voice acting and it's all picture and text based. But it is made up for with some good one-liners and humour thrown in there too. To skip a cutscene, you can either tap the screen to move the text along faster, or hold it down to skip completely. Along with the storyline missions, you'll also find loads of extras such as vigilante missions, challenges, as well as collectibles such as imported cars and weapons. Now at first glance, the controls on the iPhone may seem quite hard and difficult to get used to because it's a touchscreen. When you're on foot, you always have to use the analog stick to move forward, back, left and right. But when you're in a car, you can choose between the analog sticks or two arrows to steer your car. Many other games that have tried this don't work too accurately, but this has been quite good and the sensitivity of driving is quite good as well. That said, there are a couple of issues here as you only have two thumbs to play with. For instance, you can't steer, accelerate and shoot at the same time. You have to take your thumb off one and change another. Now there are no main differences to the storyline compared to the DS and the PSP version, although there do seem to be some missions that aren't in this game. The only really different thing that can be found is the user interface, which is actually really good. The main communications in Chinatown Wars are done over email, which can be accessed through a little icon in the top left corner. Now the menus here are really sleek, they load quite fast and are easy to navigate. There's some features that even I'd want to see on the iPhone, such as sliding your finger across the screen to go back to the inbox or back to your main menu, which works really well. Now what you have to bear in mind is that the iPhone is a mobile phone, and the iPod Touch isn't just a gaming platform, it's an MP3 player, which makes these graphics even more impressive. Now I would definitely say that these graphics are better than the DS version. Although it doesn't have as much 3D shading as the DS version, all the graphics are really impressive, vibrant and clear, which definitely shows some advancements in what the iPhone can do, and I look forward to seeing more from the GTA series. Now as I said before, there's no voice acting in the game except for police, which does make the game less realistic, but it's still fun. You get your usual radio stations which you can change in the pause menu, and they're automatically assigned to the type of car that you're driving. So if it's a classical car, you'll be listening to classical music. If it's an imported car, it might be more urban music. As for replay value, if you had the DS or the PSP version of the game, I wouldn't say it's worth buying just because most of the missions are the same. That said, some of the controls in the game are really cool, and there's something that you could only do on a touchscreen like this. So if you do have an iPhone and an iPod Touch and you're looking for a new game, GTA might be good even if you played it before. The only issue that I've really had with this game is that it doesn't make use of the iPhone or iPod Touch's hardware. Now, as a gaming platform, it does have a lot to offer, such as the accelerometer, but there's pretty much nothing in the game that uses that. It would have been nice to have the option to switch between analog stick or accelerometer when you're driving a car. Although it's not the best and sensitivity can be an issue there, it's nice to have the option just so you can give it a try. Now GTA Chinatown Wars is priced at $5.99 or $9.99 if you're in the US. Some people may say that's quite a lot to pay for an iPhone game. But what you have to think about is some of the console versions go for between £20 and £30. And this is for £6 you get the full game on a handheld platform that you can take anywhere with you. It's definitely worth the price. As well as that, compared to some other games, you get a lot more playtime with this game. Even if you play the game for a couple of hours a day, it will still last a long time, so it's definitely worth $5.99. Overall, this is a great game and a great addition to the GTA series. Although it's based on a story that's already been released, it's definitely a good addition to the iPhone and iPod Touch market. There's a good storyline along with great graphics and brilliant gameplay, so it's definitely worth a try. If I had to give it a rating, I'll probably give it an 8 out of 10, just because there's no differences to the original version, and it would have been nice to see some accelerometer use in the game. Would I recommend it? Definitely. Even if you're not a fan of GTA and just looking for a new game on your iPhone or your iPod Touch, it's definitely worth it. And if you're a fan of the series, it's a no-brainer. Get this game. That is all for this review. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.